A few years ago, everyone was talking about Ronaldo and Messi, and Mbappe, Haaland and Vinicius were unknown promising talents who have become the most expensive players in the world. This means that football develops, and every new season brings new heroes who may become new world-class stars. Today, Goal24 is going to show you a list of the most talented players who have become real revelations in the 21-22 season. We suggest you memorize their names, as they can become football superstars in the very near future. But before that, our usual quiz. Against which national team Erling Haaland scored his first international goal for Norway? Austria, Germany, Northern Ireland, Armenia? Leave your answer in the comments and we get started. Conor Gallagher. The whole world knows about the Chelsea Academy and a huge base of young and promising players. The Blues have been loaning out their youngsters to various teams many years already, and this allows them to keep the player at the club in case he develops into a Premier League footballer. Also, a loan gives some first-team experience to the players at smaller clubs. This was also true for Mason Mount and Reece James, who have become first-11 players out of promising teams. Another such player is Conor Gallagher, who performed on loan for Crystal Palace this season. The Englishman has had such a great season that most probably Chelsea is going to keep the young talent at the club. Despite playing as a central midfielder, Gallagher managed to score 8 goals for Palace in the Premier League. Only Zaha scored more. The youngster is also in second place with goals and assists combined, and let us not forget that Gallagher's position implies a lot of dirty work. That is why he is so highly ranked and useful for the Eagles. This season, Conor proved himself as not just one of the best players at Crystal Palace, but as a decent midfielder who may be useful at any club. We should also pay attention to the fact that Vieira has changed the team's playing system from parking a bus to a modern and attacking model, which is very intensive and requires a lot of pressure. Conor fit this formation perfectly. He showed that he could play both behind the forward and deep in the midfield, stopping the opposition attacks. Gallagher is only 22, which is considered a great age for future progress and development. We are confident this player will find himself at a big club very soon and will have all the chances to shine on the highest level. Friends, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button, because we make the best football videos for you. Yeremy Pino and Arnaud Danjuma. This winger duo from Villarreal has made a lot of fuss this season. They've put in a great performance in the Champions League. Under their manager Unai Emery, these two have made a way from unknown players to the most expensive assets of the Yellow Submarine. Danjuma is far from the age when you call the player a promising one. Spending several unsuccessful years in the Netherlands and Belgium, Arnaud then moved to Bournemouth and got relegated to the Championship. It seemed like the decline was going to continue, but in August 2021, Villarreal bought the player for 23 million euros, and it all changed. The transfer fee was huge for the Submarine, but this shows how interested Emery was in the player. Arnaud was of use at once. He scored 10 goals and made 3 assists in 23 La Liga matches, but his main achievement was the Champions League, where he scored 6 goals and made 1 assist in 11 games, sending the ball into the nets of Bayern and Juventus. His pace and technique allow him to drive defenders mad on his favorite left wing, or to move to the center to shoot or find a teammate in the box. Danjuma's strongest attribute is dribbling, thanks to which he passes by the defenders one after another. In a year, the 25-year-old Dutchman's price has grown twice, reaching 50 million euros. Yeremy Pino's price tag has also grown significantly during this season, but unlike Danjuma, the Spaniard is only 19. Pino has been a part of Villarreal's first team only a couple of years, but has already won the Europa League title under Emery. This year, Yeremy firmly occupied the right winger's position in the first 11, and his skills to dribble past the opponents and accelerate attacks from the midfield make Pino a versatile and very important player for the team. If Danjuma shined when everyone thought it would never happen anymore, Pino showed himself very early. Today there's a bunch of European top teams ready to pay huge money to sign the Spaniard. No wonder, because very soon this player may become one of those star teenagers. Emile Smith-Rowe. When Arsenal bought Martin Ødegaard, it seemed like the Englishman was going to sit on the bench because the Norwegian was his main competitor in the playmaker's position. Indeed, for some time after Ødegaard's move, Smith-Rowe was often watching the game from the bench, but soon Arteta started playing him on the wing. And this was a right decision. The Englishman got more space for his brand runs on the sideline, but his main skills are of course great vision and passing. Besides being a good playmaker, Smith-Rowe also has shown his goal-scoring abilities, falling only behind Bukayo Saka in the top scorers race. Considering the fact that Emile has more responsibilities on the pitch than his teammate, this result tells a lot. Especially at such a young age, Smith-Rowe is only 21. The Englishman started his career in the Gunners Academy in 2010, and only 10 years later he was moved to the senior squad on a regular basis. And this season, Emile Smith-Rowe unleashed his talent, proving himself as not only a promising, and by the way very inconsistent, but also a skillful attacking player without whom Arsenal would have been in a much worse position. Another important indicator of Smith-Rowe's progress is that in autumn he was called up to the national team, though he had played in the under-21 team before. And we all know how thoroughly Southgate chooses players for his super disciplined team. And of course the price. Emile Smith-Rowe's market value has grown twice to 40 million euros. Jurrien Timber. Now we talk about defenders. The 20-year-old Dutchman is a product of Feyenoord and Ajax academies that are famous for being birthplaces of talent. Ajax has lost its title of a top club as they were unable to compete with other clubs in terms of finances. They couldn't afford buying expensive players, so they decided to grow them on their own. Frenkie de Jong, Matthijs de Ligt and Hakim Ziyech became famous at Ajax and then moved to stronger and more successful European clubs. But their departure was not a disaster for Ajax, as the Dutch club managed to replace them with other promising youngsters almost immediately. Timber is just starting his career, but after such a successful start, there'll be a line of interested clubs because the Dutchman is not only good in tackles and interceptions, but also heading. His main attribute is versatility. He's quite low for a defender, only 179 cm, but this allows him to play both in the center and on the wings of defense. Moreover, Timber is great both as left and right central defender. Jurrien has great positioning, which allows him to get to the ball first in the majority of dangerous situations in front of his goals. In Ten Hag's attacking system, every player is an important detail of a mechanism, and even the central defenders have to join attacks when needed and know how to pass. Timber is great at passing accuracy and distance, which allows him to support attacks even on the opponent's half. This season, the Dutchman scored 3 goals and made 1 assist. Timber may follow his manager and move to Man United, and the press are already talking about this. Of course, there's Harry Maguire at United, who by the way also unleashed this season, but only in the wrong way. Jarrod Bowen. The Englishman has been showing a great game for a couple of years already. The only thing is, he was doing that in the Championship and League One for Hull City. The Hammers had to pay more than 20 million for Bowen, which is a serious sum for a lower tier player, but the investment was a 100% success. Jarrod Bowen is West Ham's top scorer this season and is among top 5 Premier League players with the goal plus pass system, ahead of Ronaldo, Mount, Jota and Mané. Bowen can perform on any position in the attack, and he had to do that because of the short West Ham bench. However, his favorite place on the pitch is the right wing. His pace and technique allow him to successfully dribble past the opponents, and thanks to his powerful left foot, Bowen cuts into the center and places the ball into the top far corner. Once this was Robben's brand move, and today this reminds the playing style of Salah. Jarrod is 25 already, but that doesn't mean he can't develop and keep up the shape. Remember when Salah joined Liverpool, he was already 25. By the way, this winter the Reds were quite interested in buying Bowen, but West Ham demanded such a sum that the deal failed. Jarrod Bowen is one of the main discoveries this season in European football. Of course, he had quite a high value and now his price has increased even more. Besides, West Ham wouldn't want to let the player go. The player who dragged them into the Europa League semi-final. Gleison Bremer. If Timber is a young defender who still has to grow into an experienced player, here we deal with a professional footballer who can play at any club at any moment. Gleison Bremer is a unique central defender from Torino, and we're going to prove this now. Bremer is 25, but the most part of his career he spent in his homeland, Brazil. In 2018, the Bulls paid 5.8 million euros for Gleison, and since the next season he has been regularly playing in Serie A. But only this year the Brazilian managed to unleash his potential, because before that he was a mediocre and unknown defender. At this moment, Bremer is the best player in Italy as per interceptions and is among the top 5 by clean tackles. Besides these important defensive attributes, the Brazilian has a great long pass. Thanks to this skill, he starts many attacks. As he is also very tall, Bremer is effective in set pieces, but his best attribute is of course great positioning, which, in cooperation with his speed, makes Gleison a real wall which you can't pass, neither with a through ball nor with dribbling. Bremer has been linked with Liverpool and Chelsea for some time already, but the English top clubs should be aware that the player will cost a fortune. Karim Adeyemi, Joško Gvardiol, Christopher Nkunku. The German has only recently turned 20, but he has already drawn the attention of the worldwide football community. At RB Salzburg, Adeyemi has scored 19 goals this season and made 5 assists in the Austrian Bundesliga. Also, he was great in the Champions League, scoring 3 goals and making 2 assists in 8 matches. This is an impressive statistic, as Salzburg lately sold Haaland and Tuchel, but very quickly they found a replacement for them. Adeyemi has already signed a contract with Borussia Dortmund, a club that works miracles by turning talented youngsters into real stars. Karim has phenomenal dribbling and pace, but this season he has also shown his scoring abilities, playing not only on wings but in the center of attacks. Last summer, Adeyemi's transfer value was only 10 million, but this year the German teenager's price tag has become 3 times higher. Now Adeyemi is the most expensive player at RB Salzburg. Soon we'll see this youngster at a more serious club which will give him completely different opportunities. Joško Gvardiol is another talent from Red Bull, but Leipzig this time. The 20-year-old Croatian joined the Bulls from Dinamo Zagreb last summer and became a first-choice defender for Tedesco at once. In Bundesliga, Gvardiol is usually playing in the center of defense, but his speed and long passing allow him to also perform on the wings of defense. Note that Gvardiol is a very tall footballer, and his heading ability is one of the numerous advantages in his arsenal. He is also good on the opponent's half, helping his team to attack and keep possession. In general, this is another talented defender who will become a top club target pretty soon. Christopher Nkunku moved from PSG to Leipzig back in 2019 and ideally fit the team. But this season, the Frenchman exceeded all the expectations. Nkunku is not just a team leader, he is a contender for the season's Best Player award. His stats are so stunning that he may surpass Robert Lewandowski pretty soon. In 34 matches in the Bundesliga, he scored 20 goals and made 13 assists. He is among the top 5 top scorers in the Bundesliga. Let us not forget that the Frenchman, unlike Haaland or Lewandowski, is not a central forward, so scoring goals playing in another position is more difficult. Yes, and he doesn't often take penalties. Nkunku possesses a powerful and precise long shot, and he is the set-piece taker of the team. He scored 2 goals out of 8 free kicks, placing the shot in the net of the opponent. Also, the Frenchman likes dribbling and running past the opponent using his speed. And his mental attributes, together with his precise passing, allow him to play almost every attacking position. Manchester United has already targeted Nkunku, but after such a stunning season, the Devils will have to pay quite a hefty sum for the player. Nico Gonzalez, Ronald Araujo, Gavi. After a period of decline and financial problems, Barca decided to use their youngsters, and this was their best decision. Nico is already being compared with Busquets thanks to his confident game in the center of the midfield. Though the Spaniard was moved to the senior team only last year, he performs like a mature and experienced footballer. The 20-year-old Nico is a very tenacious midfielder who can play both a deep defensive and high attacking and pressing football. This is what Xavi appreciates more in Nico, giving him more and more playing time. The youngster is similar to Busquets also with his passing, which allows the team attacks to develop in the desired direction. Nico is also good in between the lines, often finding himself in the position of a playmaker or a halfback. The Spaniard progressed so well this season that in the preseason he can become a full-time first 11 player at Blaugranas. Ronald Araujo is another Barcelona B player who managed to make it through the first team, becoming an important player for the club. There was a big fuss around this 23-year-old Uruguayan, but eventually Barcelona managed to extend his contract, setting his release fee to €1 billion. So the Barca fans can rest easy, not a single shake club can grab him for huge money. Thanks to his physical attributes, Araujo almost never loses headers, but that's not his strongest side. The Uruguayan has already proven that it is almost impossible to dribble past him. Thanks to his clean and timely positioning, the defender intercepts all the through balls of the opponents. Ronald Araujo is ready to replace Piqué in the center of defense. If Nico Gonzalez is compared to Busquets, then we can't help but compare Gavi to Xavi himself. And that's not only about the name. At the age of 17, the Spaniard has already become one of the key players at Barcelona, having all the chances to become one of the best players on the planet. He has a lot of time for that. Though Gavi likes playing on the left wing, he often moves to the center to receive passes to keep up the attacks. The teenager has a powerful shot and great passing, but his main advantage is of course his brains, which allow him to quickly and skillfully read the game. Also, Gavi has phenomenal technique, thanks to which he can easily receive the ball and deceive opponents. His contract expires in a year, so Barca has to put some efforts to try and keep the future best player in the world at the club. Knowing his potential and development possibilities, there's a bunch of top clubs willing to sign Gavi. It is not surprising, as soon this young Spaniard will be conquering new heights. Dusan Vlahovic. The Serb's move from Fiorentina to Juventus was one of the most expensive deals of this winter's transfer window. Ronaldo's departure from Juve left Allegri's team without a solid goalscorer. Alvaro Morata clearly didn't fulfill this duty. Vlahovic is a classic striker, and he somehow reminds Romelu Lukaku. Dusan's size allows him to cover the ball with his back and battle even with the tallest Italian defenders. His height also gives him an opportunity to fight for the headers. Maybe Vlahovic is not that good at pressing or possession, but his advantage is counter-attacks, which are very important in Italian football. In the Allegri system, the Serb showed himself as a very useful and efficient player, as he started scoring regularly, bringing points to All Lady in the battle for the Champions League spot. Currently, Vlahovic is the second best scorer in Serie A, losing first place to Immobile only by a few goals. Unfortunately, he won't be able to win the race anymore. Besides his technical attributes, Dusan Vlahovic is a great leader. This is what differs him from Lukaku. If the Belgian gives up easily, the Serb shows himself as a real captain, although he's not one yet. He always tries to motivate his team to go forward. Out of all players from our list, we can name Vlahovic as a ready-made superstar at the age of 22, because he doesn't need adaptation. We don't have to wait for him to develop, although he is surely going to. Yes, Juve paid huge money for him, but in a couple of years, Dusan can become one of the best forwards in Europe. Nico Schlotterbeck. Freiburg raised some eyebrows in the Bundesliga this season. A team with quite a mediocre squad was competing for the Champions League spot throughout the whole season. Mostly this is the coach's achievement, but Schlotterbeck has a lot to do with this too. He is one of the most talented revelations of this season. The 22-year-old player has already been signed by Borussia for 20 million. The German declined Bayern's offer to have more playing time and face less pressure. We've already mentioned how well Borussia develops talented and promising youngsters. That is why Nico decided not to risk. Despite his height, Nico is a very agile and fast player, able to play not only in the center of defense, but also on the wing. As he's a lefty player, he prefers the left wing more, often making long passes forward or entering the opposition half to help Freiburg attack in numbers. This season, Schlotterbeck scored 4 goals and made 1 assist, which is a fantastic result for a central defender. Nico is not afraid of sliding or intercepting, but the most surprising is confidence during tackling, as he is usually very aggressive but never received a red card in Bundesliga. Soon we'll be seeing Nico at Borussia, and as we know, many players started their superstar career at Dortmund. And what other players have performed this season and deserved our attention? Let us know in the comments, we're interested to know. See you soon.